Welcome back to the channel, guys. I knew that I needed someone to lead my Terminator Wolfguard pack, and right away, it was always going to be Arjak Rockvis, known as the Anvil of Fenris and personal champion to Logan Grimnar. Someone who just doesn't command respect, but also commands the warp itself. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the entire process, how I kitbashed these recycled parts, used LikeAHero to prepare and support the files, and utilized Orca Slicer to perfectly split and print the objects, of course, using resin to FDM as well. We're going to be covering everything, including priming and setting it up for painting. So let's get right into it. Now, Arjak wields the foe hammer. This weapon is iconic. He can hurl it into the fray and have it teleport right back into his grip. Doing my research, I actually realized during this, because in my audiobook readings, guys, there was no really a hard mention of his left-handed use. It wasn't until I started researching like different looks for him, because I was trying to get a kitbash going, that I realized that he's left-handed. And so I guess because he's the Anvil of Fenris, he's kind of a defensive unit, and that shield being in the right hand, even though Space Marines are both left and right-handed, correct? Someone can let me know in the comments. I believe their training requires them to be ambidextrous, but clarify if I'm incorrect in the comments, please. So there was a couple of things I had to do in retooling to get this properly lore accurate. And the first one was mirroring a hammer that I previously used for the Wolfguard Terminator proxies. And that was taking the hammer about to 120% scale as well. So we mirrored that. We also mirrored the Wolfguard, the pelt shoulder plates. And so that way, I kind of wanted that to be on the left hand for him, the one that he's actually wielding the foe hammer. And after like assembling the model in LikeAHero, I realized that the head piece needed to be upscaled just a little bit. I moved that up to 110%. And for the legs, even though they had a loincloth already, I actually upgraded it to a more dynamic loincloth. And lastly, we had to print a bow necklace that printed perfectly at the 0.06 layer height and that we had to attach afterwards. For this print, we're actually using the Creality Hyper PLA, and we're printing with a 0.2 millimeter nozzle. Now, one of the things that I have forgotten in previous videos, and I made sure to do that, is mention the PLA that I'm using and mention the nozzle that I'm using. If you're printing with FDM, going to a 0.2 millimeter nozzle is like an absolute must. You can use a 0.4 and you can get down to like a 0.08 layer height, but I feel like to get the best results, definitely it involves using a 0.2 millimeter nozzle. I also just generally think that fast PLAs, no matter the brand that you use, generally for me, in my experience, have performed better than the standard PLAs. Once we had supported everything in LikeAHero, then it was a matter of taking everything into resin to FDM, where we split the pieces up from miniature to supports. I always set my support length, support diameter to a 1.50 overall, and the tip diameter, I've been experimenting going as low as 0.24, and I think I want to go even lower, but for this one, I did a 0.24 tip diameter. After that, it was time to send it over to Orca Slicer, and we, of course, using a 0.06 layer height. You can see my general settings here on the left. Now, if you want these exact printer profile that I use for Orca Slicer, or the auto-generate supports that I use in LikeAHero, or if you just want to share your own paint jobs, talk shop about 3D printing, whether it is resin or FDM, make sure to check out our community over on Patreon. That'll give you access to our Discord. I'm posting behind the scenes updates there almost daily, and it's the best place to chat all things 3D printing tabletop. As far as the prints, they printed flawlessly here coming off the table. Once off the plate, the real assembly began. I removed the supports, and as always, because there were those resin style supports and the tip diameters are set to a 0.24, they come off really easily. Now, to get the perfect natural fit, I actually brought the heat gun out again, and I used this to mold the cape and kind of just made sure that it's kind of really forming over Arjak here. For the leg piece, I actually cut away the original loincloth. And again, I used the heat gun there to kind of mold it and press it onto over the loincloth. And I think it came out just absolute perfect. And I even used the heat gun as well to kind of really get that wolf pelt that's on the shoulder to really kind of hug his left arm. This kind of made a really organic, really imposing, almost lifelike figure. Now, once it was finished and it was all assembled, I kind of realized that I needed something to distinguish him a little bit more. The foam hammer size increase was kind of doing that. The left-handed obviously was doing that, the left-handed stance there. However, I found some bits that I was able to 3D print. And yes, I 3D printed a rock. Why didn't I just go outside and get a rock? Well, because I think the weight was, I think that's what it was. I think I found a few rocks in my front yard and I was like, well, I'm just going to 3D print it. It's going to be lighter and it's going to be the exact style that I wanted. So I 3D printed up 3 bits there. The first one was a small little stone, a kind of tablet rune looking thing, and a skull. I ended up actually only using the 2 pieces because it's pretty crowded on that 40mm base. But even with that, you can see he has a very imposing, a much more distinguished look as opposed to the other Terminators in the brick. Now that he was built, it was time to prime. And of course, I primed using the Kaleido Rapid Air Black Primer. I think it's just easy, just plug and play. You throw it in your compressor or you throw it in your airbrush and it's go on the 0.5mm nozzle. I wouldn't run personally anything smaller on my nozzle if I'm going to be priming. So I use the GHAD 68 with the 0.5mm nozzle for that. And I actually got this really sweet compressor here. It's called the TimberTech compressor here. I think it was like 79 bucks that I got it for. And it has a water trap. It's just amazing. Put it to 30 PSI, does its job. When I'm using the 0.2mm airbrush, the Mobius, I set it to around 12 PSI. Again, perfect, great. And from a person who just recently switched to these actual compressor, I was using the one, ones that have to run all the time, the little cheap Amazon non-tank compressors. It's just a game changer. It makes like airbrushing like fun. But I will say, if you're still using a tankless compressor, just make the switch. I'll link it in the description. Now he's finally ready here, primed, ready to go, ready to join the 10-man Terminator brick. Now, with the recent changes, the point changes in the 11th edition, I don't know if he's going to be leading a 10-man or a 5-man. I feel like the 10-man is kind of the standard. Oh, and one thing, let me. I actually have been painting a lot more. So I was out of town for the past week or so, and I have actually started going with my, oh, I forgot another thing, hold on. All right, so I have been painting. I've been starting to tackle this Terminator brick squad. I actually have a lot because I still got that Wolfen squad that I need to do. But basically, I have been started to paint my Terminators here, and of course, Arjack's gonna be leading them there. I kind of went with these colors here. I did a little trial run on this one right here, and I kind of like that. Originally I went with like a much, how do I say, much more traditional Space Wolves blue color, like wolf gray and stuff like that. And then after looking at that, I kind of prefer the Horus Heresy style. So then what I decided to do with that was kind of go with more, keep it basic. I'm only really using thus far about 5 different colors. So, and with those 5 colors, I feel like I'm able to do a lot. And German gray base, then going with a little Stonewall gray 50/50, and then using the charred brown for the leather parts and also the shield, kind of keeping it simple like that. And moving on to a beastly brown for the edge highlights, which I still have yet to do. And then of course I got some black that I still need to go in there and do a couple of things like that. But I'm really enjoying it, guys, and I hope that you are enjoying the content here that I'm putting out. Make sure to subscribe for future content. If you're enjoying these deep dive proxy builds, make sure to check out the link in the description to see how you can support the channel. Come join us over at the Patreon, of course. Like the video. Let me know what you're painting or what you're not painting, what's overlooking the back of your shelf right now. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.